By the end of this video, you will possess the exact protocol to transform your standard morning coffee into a high-potency biological engine that forces your cells into a state of immediate restoration. While you've likely been unknowingly depleting your vitality for years, there is a hidden programmatic shift that occurs within your internal systems the moment you introduce a specific 10-cent botanical trigger to your brew. A secret that the billion-dollar synthetic supplement industry desperately hopes remains buried in your kitchen cabinet. We are about to decode the precise molecular synergy that occurs in the first 15 minutes of a properly activated cup, revealing why 99% of people are currently killing their coffee and how a single adjustment can recalibrate your liver, joints, and cognitive clarity by tomorrow morning. Pay close attention because what I am about to show you is a total physiological reset that no pharmacy shelf can replicate. To understand why your current routine is failing, you must realize that most people are effectively sabotaging their coffee's potential before the first sip. Coffee is not merely a delivery system for caffeine. It is a complex, concentrated liquid of polyphenols, particularly chlorogenic acid, a critical compound that serves as a guardian for your liver and a stabilizer for your metabolic health. However, the modern habit of adding refined sugars and processed dairy creates a biochemical disaster. Sugar triggers an immediate insulin surge that negates the antioxidant payload, while the proteins in milk bind to the nutrients, rendering them unabsorbable by your gut. You aren't consuming a health tonic. You are drinking a fragrant dessert that creates systemic friction. The missing link is a phenomenon known as molecular synergy. When you introduce a single clove to your brew, the chemistry changes fundamentally. The densest source of the anti-inflammatory compound eugenol on the planet. The chlorogenic acid from the bean and the eugenol from the spice do not simply coexist. They multiply each other's bioavailability, creating a tenfold increase in cellular protection. This isn't just an additive effect. It is a total systemic upgrade that the vast majority of people walk past every single day because they don't understand the latent power sitting in their spice rack. Before you can unlock this protocol, you must stop the habits that are currently holding your biology hostage. In the first 15 minutes after consuming this activated brew, you will notice a profound shift in your internal state. A surge of clean energy without the characteristic caffeine tremors or the sharp spike in heart rate that standard coffee often induces. This occurs because the eugenol within the clove acts as a gentle vasodilator, relaxing the smooth muscle walls of your circulatory system, even as the caffeine ignites your nervous system. It is a state of mental sharpness, devoid of physical chaos. Within the first 24 hours, the primary transformation takes place in your digestive tract. Clove possesses powerful carminative properties that actively dismantle gas and eliminate bloating, while the coffee naturally accelerates your metabolic waste removal. This combination serves as a high-speed cleansing mechanism for your entire gastrointestinal system. By the end of day 1, many people report a sensation of physical lightness and a reduction in abdominal pressure that they haven't experienced in years. You are no longer just waking up your brain. You are physically scrubbing your internal environment from the inside out. This immediate relief is merely the setup for the deeper metabolic repairs that begin to take hold by the third day. By the third day of following this protocol, your internal chemistry enters the phase of stabilization. This is where the synergy between chlorogenic acid and eugenol begins to reshape your metabolic response to food. While the coffee compounds slow down the absorption of glucose in your gut, the clove's active elements work to increase the sensitivity of your insulin receptors. The result is the elimination of the glucose roller coaster. Those aggressive hunger spikes and energy crashes that usually drive you to snack just an hour after breakfast. Instead of dealing with wild fluctuations, you begin to experience a leveled out, sustainable baseline of fuel. Your body stops viewing every meal as a potential fat storage event and starts utilizing energy with clinical efficiency. This metabolic quietness is often the first time in years that many people feel truly in control of their appetite, as the brain finally receives clear signals of satiety. But as impressive as this blood sugar stabilization is, it is only the foundation for the systemic repair of your joints and organs that begins to manifest as you cross the 1-week mark. As you reach the 1-week mark, a process of deep structural restoration begins to take hold within your tissues. This transition occurs quietly, but manifests physically. The chronic dull ache in your knees and the morning stiffness in your hands start to recede as systemic inflammation levels drop. This is not a temporary masking of symptoms, but a measurable reduction in oxidative stress that can be observed in your very blood chemistry. By the time you hit 30 days, the focus shifts to your primary detoxification engine, the liver. While coffee is already linked to lower rates of fibrosis, the addition of eugenol amplifies this protective shield, actively reducing the metabolic burden on liver cells and allowing your enzymes to return to their optimal range. The external results of this internal cleanup are often striking. As your liver begins to process toxins more efficiently, your skin frequently clears and gains a renewed vitality, a phenomenon many observers mistake for a reversal of the aging process itself. Looking further ahead to the 3-month milestone, you enter a phase of total systemic transformation. Because your body has spent weeks in a state of improved insulin sensitivity and thermogenic efficiency, stubborn weight often begins to migrate off. Your cognitive function stabilizes into a state of permanent clarity, replacing the old cycle of spikes and crashes with a steady, reliable flow of mental energy. All of these profound shifts originate from a single, intentional change to the cup of coffee you were already planning to drink. To achieve these results, you must follow a precise extraction protocol, as nearly 90% of those who attempt this fail by ignoring the fundamental laws of spice chemistry. The gold standard is a method known as thermal decoction. Your first step is to acquire 3 whole, high-quality cloves. Avoid pre-ground powders, as their essential oils have already oxidized and lost their potency. Place these 3 cloves into a small vessel with approximately 10 ounces of filtered water. Bring the liquid to a rolling boil, then immediately reduce the heat to a low simmer for exactly 5 minutes. This timing is critical. If you under-extract, the eugenol remains trapped in the woody fiber. But if you exceed 7 minutes, the heat begins to dismantle the very molecular bonds you are trying to consume. Once the 5 minutes have elapsed, strain the infused water and discard the spent cloves. You now possess a concentrated molecular activator, which you will use as the base water to brew your coffee using your preferred method, be it a French press, drip system, or pour-over. For maximum biological impact, this activated brew must be consumed slowly and on an empty stomach as the very first input of your morning. If you are facing a time-sensitive morning, you may utilize the crush and steep bypass. Smash a single clove with the flat of a blade and allow it to infuse in your hot black coffee for 3 minutes. While this secondary method offers only about 60 to 70% of the full decoction's potency, it is infinitely superior to an unactivated cup. Remember, the heat and the physical breakdown of the spice are non-negotiable requirements for unlocking the medicine within. Before you begin this transformation, we must establish the boundaries of safety, as this protocol is too potent for certain biological profiles. If you are currently prescribed blood-thinning medications like warfarin or high-dose aspirin, you must consult your physician before starting, as the eugenol in cloves possesses a natural anticoagulant effect that may amplify your medication. Likewise, if you suffer from active gastritis or severe peptic ulcers, the acidity of coffee itself remains a risk that this protocol cannot override. For the vast majority, however, this represents the most accessible and cost-effective biological upgrade available in the modern world. Consider the profound simplicity of this shift. For less than 10 cents and 5 minutes of your morning, you are evolving a standard habit into a systematic act of cellular maintenance. You are choosing a path of mental clarity without the tax of anxiety, a week of receding inflammation, and a 3-month horizon of total metabolic reset. The science is clear, but the results remain dormant unless you take the first step. You are not inherently broken. Your morning ritual simply lacks the necessary tools to succeed. Fix the chemistry of your coffee, and you fix the trajectory of your day. Start tomorrow morning. 3 cloves, 5 minutes, 1 cup. That is where your new baseline begins.